When the Ghostbusters need a ride to the next paranormal hotspot, it's good to have one that can handle a proton pack. Greetings, Transformers and Ghostbusters fans alike, and a spooky Halloween to you all. Let's get ghoulish together with a look at the 5-part Ghostbusters Transformers comic book crossover. We begin on ancient Cybertron during the Great War between the Autobots and Decepticons. Many well-placed Easter eggs show us this is a variation of the G1 cartoon universe, although things that we thought we knew are about to take an unexpected turn. Optimus Prime and his Autobots make their exodus from Cybertron just as we saw in the pilot episode, More Than Meets the Eye. However, before the Decepticons can pursue, Cybertron is visited by Gozer the Destructor, made over for her new surroundings. Reminiscent of the climax of the original Ghostbusters film, the Decepticons face off against the same impossible odds. Gozer once again allows them the choice of their destruction. Much like Ray's stance, Starscream's hubris is what does Cybertron in the end. As the other Decepticons rise up to defend themselves in vain, Cybertron meets its final destruction. Many years later, we meet up again with the Ark, still surviving out in deep space. In this telling, the Autobots leave Cybertron 1,000 years before present day, as opposed to 4 million years. We are introduced to new Autobot scientist, Ectotron Diametron. Don't worry, that name won't last. Ectotron brings news to Optimus Prime of an unexpected Cybertronian signal originating from a nearby planet called Earth. Optimus sends him out to find the source of the signal, in his own words, to make sure they're not chasing ghosts. Meanwhile, down on planet Earth, more specifically, in the borough of Brooklyn, New York, we join the 4 Ghostbusters on the job. Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston find themselves on a case, which has led to Ecto-1 having been pulled into the ground, thus becoming undrivable. As the human heroes banter, they are unaware of the Autobot Sky Spy satellite above them. Just like in the pilot episode of Transformers, it scans the vehicle for an alt-mode transformation. Later, in Prospect Park, the Ghostbusters chase down their ghoul and close the case by trapping it. Elsewhere in the park, Ectronomus's new alt-mode is put to the test. 2 Brooklyn cops argue whether or not to ticket the Ghostbusters' car, which the team appears to have left illegally in the middle of the park green. An uncanny shock blast from the car zaps and disintegrates the ticket, ending the discussion. The Ghostbusters themselves are later shocked to find the car above ground, and not where they left it. Things only get stranger when they are abruptly visited by the ghost of Starscream, a long-running bit of Transformers lore, going all the way back to the animated movie in 1986, where Starscream is killed at last by Galvatron. Ironically, Starscream was one of the few original characters whose toy was not cancelled after the movie. This allowed him to come back for the 3rd season as a disembodied spirit seeking revenge and a new body, in the appropriately titled episode, Starscream's Ghost. In our current story, Starscream explains to the Ghostbusters that he's come to talk to an Autobot, whatever that is, only to be cut off and captured in a ghost trap. Once the coast is clear, Winston asks on cue, so what's an Autobot? What they thought to be their lost car changes shape before their very eyes. Their new Autobot ally at last reveals himself. Our second issue begins as Ectronomus introduces himself to the Ghostbusters. He is quite surprised at how well they handle his appearance. Of course, for the 4 of them, weird things like this are just a normal part of the job. The Autobot explains he came to Earth in search of a signal that is now emanating from their ghost trap. Ignoring Ray's insistence on leaving Starscream inside, Ectronomus destroys the ghost trap, releasing Starscream. Realizing he is something more than just a holographic image, Ectronomus watches as Starscream is once again subdued. Before he can be contained again, Starscream begs for a chance to speak. He pleads for help in returning his spirit to a physical body. Starscream tells the tale of Cybertron's final moments before destruction. As Gozer takes the form of a giant vengeful Starscream, the Decepticons are visited once again by another mysterious stranger. This time, the Red Wizard. A character who appears only in the third season of Transformers in an episode titled Madman's Paradise. In that episode, the Red Wizard was revealed to have been an exiled Quintesson who was excommunicated for his use of black magic. For Ghostbusters fans who have just stumbled upon this video, or those who just don't know or don't remember, the Quintessons first appear in 1986's animated Transformers the movie, seen passing judgment on and sentencing all descendants of Cybertron to their brutal deaths. In the following third season, it was revealed that the Quintessons were in fact the original creators and slave masters of the Transformers, before the Autobots and Decepticons would rise up and drive them off Cybertron. A brief era of peace before the outbreak of the Great War. The Red Wizard offers Megatron and the Decepticons a chance to escape from Gozer, a name the Ghostbusters know all too well. Eagle-eyed readers would have already spotted the Red Wizard's little companion, the mischievous energy being known as Kremzeek, from his own self-titled episode in Season 2 of Transformers. In this comic, Kremzeek and the Red Wizard seem to have combined into a singular character. Megatron, hoping to be spared from his fate, accepts the Wizard's terms. He and his Decepticon warriors are ripped from their physical forms, reduced to non-temporal spirits. Starscream finishes his plea to a very cynical audience. The moment is interrupted by the arrival of Kremzeek. Peter is quick to trap him, but as expected, Kremzeek is pure energy and almost impossible to contain. Egon quickly figures out a particle setting that will allow Kremzeek to be grounded. As Ectotron makes contact with him, he is phased out, evaporating into thin air, for now. Soon after, Ectotron agrees to give the Ghostbusters a ride back to their firehouse. As Starscream prepares to tag along, it soon becomes clear that he has an ulterior motive, as always. Back at the firehouse, Ectotron meets Janine Melnitz, the Ghostbusters secretary and office manager. After he accidentally bends the fire pole, Janine convinces him to shorten his name to the much simpler and way cooler Ectotron. She then scolds him to fix the damage. Starscream's ghost appears, larger than life. He ascends to the second floor to examine the firehouse for himself. Peter Venkman uses this time to feel him out, one con man to another. After meeting Slimer in confinement, Starscream fails to shoot up the place. Peter mocks him, as he is no longer able to fire actual laser beams. Starscream becomes enraged and turns to threats. Peter responds by simply trapping him yet again. With a little help and repairs from Ray, Ectotron is finally able to contact the Autobots. 2 heavy minutes of exposition later, Optimus Prime at last is brought up to speed. Before Optimus can reach Earth, the Ghostbusters and Ectotron are sent out on another work call. Arriving on the scene, Egon detects PKE energy similar to the kind he read from Kremzeek earlier. Using goggles similar to Ray Stance's pair, Ectotron gets to work on adapting a ghost trap for Kremzeek. Optimus Prime arrives on Earth taking the form of his classic truck mode. He soon after becomes the target of hoodlum vandals. Inside the power station, Peter tempts fate by cutting the power, causing Kremzeek to burst forth and reveal his monstrous new self. He chases Winston and Peter, who flee outside, rejoining the others. With Ectotron's modified trap, Kremzeek is contained at last. Returning home to the firehouse victorious, Ectotron and the Ghostbusters are at long last teamed up with Optimus Prime, who displays his reluctant new taggings. Peter runs upstairs to fetch the ghost trap containing Starscream. When he opens it, much to the shock of all, Starscream is gone. Somehow, he has managed to escape. After much needed rest, our heroes travel to the Ghostbusters storage warehouse in Red Hook. After some close examination, the running theory is that an intentional power surge was set off to freeze Starscream. But by who and why? Optimus Prime now dons his new Ghostbuster makeover, and the Ghostbusters have built large-scale proton weapons for their new allies. Soon after, while testing his gear, Ectotron destroys what appears to be Ecto-2 from the real Ghostbusters. Egon gets a PKE reading from Starscream, and the team is off for more action. Arriving at another power station in Long Island City, they are once again faced with the ghost of Starscream. Before they can capture him a third time, a new arrival shakes things up. The Red Wizard appears, aggravated with Starscream for allowing one of his little Kremzeek children to be destroyed. He absorbs Starscream as a form of punishment. Kremzeek now explains that he's in search of the Allspark itself, so that he may shape the destiny of entire worlds. The Ghostbusters try to stop him, but their weapons are not powerful enough. Standing his ground, Optimus dares to take him on hand-to-hand in combat. Ray Stantz releases the enlarged Kremzeek from its trap. Drawn to the now greatest source of power, it attacks his master. The two cancel each other out of existence. But with that destruction, the ghosts of Megatron and his Decepticon warriors are set free. Activating his new proton-charged axe, Optimus Prime prepares for battle once again. Our final issue opens with an epic battle between Megatron's ghost and Optimus Prime, aided by the technology of the Ghostbusters. This is the nerdiest shit that ever nerded. Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston take on the ghosts of Starscream, Shockwave, and Soundwave. Soundwave in turn releases manifestations of Ravage, Laserbeak, and Buzzsaw. As the Ghostbusters capture Soundwave and contain him in a trap, his minions dissipate into ectoplasm, sliming poor Ray. A blast from Shockwave causes Peter to lose his capture stream on Starscream. Realizing he is at a clear disadvantage, Starscream uses the diversion to escape, for now. As the fight between Prime and Megatron rages on, Megatron stumbles backwards into Ectotron, causing their sparks to merge as Megatron takes control of Ectotron's body. Megatron knocks Prime around with strength well beyond that of Ectotron. The Ghostbusters realize they have one last chance to save Prime with a canister of positively charged mood slime, as seen in Ghostbusters 2. Prime manages to overpower and tackle the possessed Ectotron. Landing him on his back, Prime holds him down as the Ghostbusters feed slime down Ectotron's throat. After a violent reaction to the slime, Ectotron returns to his old self. Megatron remanifests into a new, more powerful spirit form. He threatens to possess Optimus Prime and lead the Autobots towards conquest of the universe. Before he can, he is simply captured and trapped by the Ghostbusters. Outside of Ectotron's body, he is just as vulnerable as ever. With Starscream gone, Kremzeek defeated, and the other Decepticons captured, the day is won at last. Instead of putting Megatron, Soundwave, and Shockwave into the main storage unit, Prime takes the ghost traps with him, in hopes of humanely giving them all new bodies one day. Peter asks why he would do this. Ray explains, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Prime experiences a brief moment of deja vu. Before leaving, Ectotron agrees to help fix Ecto-1 and everything else that he damaged. The Ghostbusters award him with his own name tag, making him an honorary member of the team. Ectotron tells Prime he thinks there may be other Cybertronian ghosts out there that need his help. Ray expresses excitement at the idea of ghosts in space, a reference to Ghost Smashers, one of the earliest versions of Dan Aykroyd's original screenplay. The Autobots leave Earth behind, venturing outward into space once again. As the Ark departs the solar system and travels on to its next adventure, the ghostly form of Starscream will not be far behind. And there you have it, another alternate universe for the Transformers, this time also occupied by the Ghostbusters. And hey, here's a question for the comments. How many Easter eggs can you spot in this panel alone? Because I see quite a few myself. And what are some of your other favorite connections between the Ghostbusters and Transformers? Again, let us know below. While you're thinking about it, why not check out this video about Frank Welker, the man behind the voice of Megatron and many others from Transformers. He's also the voice of Ray Stantz and Slimer in the real Ghostbusters cartoon. And if you want to know more about the origins and first appearance of Kremzeek, why not check out my review for this episode of the original Transformers series. Please like, share, and subscribe.